Ford Fiesta ST. A firm favourite on fifth gear, this little Ford is only £170 more than the Vauxhall, but with a top speed of 129, it's 1 mile an hour slower. The 0 to 62 times are nearly identical at just under 8 seconds apiece. First up, the Ford. Ford has managed to squeeze a 2-litre engine into this thing, and it is really, really keen to please. Revs rise up to 6.5 grand, bang, off we go again. There's barely any body roll here. The little front-wheel drive chassis just stays so flat to the tarmac. It is a real joy to sling around this circuit. A few years ago, this car won our Small Car of the Year award. Do we still think it's good? Yes, we do. Would we still recommend it? Yes, we would. But how quick will it be around Anglesey? Start the clock. Hard onto the brakes, down to second. Turn in. Balance the throttle, a bit of understeer. Oh, unwind the lock at the exit. Put the power on, let's go. Climbing up the hill, ready to brake hard into second there. So from 95 miles an hour to something like 25, 30 in the space of about 50 metres. Coming now to the last set of corners. Keep it nice and smooth, nice and tidy. And it crosses the line in 1 minute 32.8. Time for the Vauxhall. It may produce the same 148 bhp as the Fiesta, but it does so in a very different way. The Ford has a 2-litre normally aspirated engine. This Corsa has a 1.6-litre turbocharged unit. It's very aggressive, very rough and ready, whereas the Fiesta's is nice and smooth. The brakes are big, but you have to get to the bottom of the pedal to make this car stop, and that activates the ABS right at the end there. Through the gears, well, the Fiesta gearbox was brilliant compared to this. It's got a longer throw and it's a bit notchy. When it comes to handling, the body rocks and rolls as you swing it from left to right, and it has so much understeer, so much more than the Fiesta. It's definitely a faster car though. Up this hill, I'm way over 100 now, whereas I only got up to 95 in the Fiesta. So this is faster in the straight, but the Fiesta, I think, is quicker in the corners. Oh, this is an interesting one. Start the clock. Come on then, Turbo, do your stuff. The first checkpoint, the Fiesta is leading by a super slim 1/10 of a second. Braking hard, down into second, turn in. By the second checkpoint, the Fiesta has increased its lead by 0.3 of a second. Turning in, unwind the lock a bit, turn in again. Try and feed as much power through as the tyres will allow. And the Corsa crosses the line in 1 minute 33.7. That's almost 1 second slower than the Fiesta.
The new Fiesta isn't growing old gracefully, because it's not growing old at all. It's lighter, faster, more efficient, and it looks much better than the slightly dull model that went before it.
And therefore, you could just decide that this is the best car in the class, beats all its rivals, blah, blah, blah. But it's not that easy, is it? You see, the Fiesta's just a little bit different and actually has to be compared to things without wheels. Bear with me here.
When Ford set out several years ago to design the new Fiesta, they decided that it should work for every market, be it America, Europe, or China. Now, they're a little out of practice at making a one-car-fits-all. The last time they did it was with the Model T. So, to make sure they got the formula right, they used inspiration from other types of products that have a global appeal. Things like the iPod. Now, they can't make these things fast enough, and they're as popular in Times Square as they are in Beijing. So if Ford wants to make a car that's as popular with young, trendy types across the world, it actually has to compete with Apple's finest. Touchscreeny. So, let's start with the styling. The iPod is a hit from here to Timbuktu because it looks cool. And the new Fiesta ticks the box too. It's definitely got the same styling vibe as the Mondeo and the Focus, making it look like a smaller, rather than cheaper, alternative. It's the details that Ford seem to be getting right in their new generation of cars. Big lights, strong lines, bold design. If it's bland or blends in, they ain't interested. But don't worry, you don't have to have it in wee green if you don't want to. Here's a dash designed using, and I quote, mobile phone logic. OK, so it's a bit wacky and silver at first, but after a couple of hours in this car, I'm really starting to appreciate the amount of thought that's gone into it. All the main controls for the car are sort of here, and they're really intuitive and easy to use. Just down here, there's a little simple pocket for your MP3 player or your mobile phone, and it's next to the place where you charge it up and next to the place where you plug it into the car. There's even a little USB port there so that you can put some songs on a flash drive and just plug them straight into the car. Thing is, this feels like a small car, but with really big car equipment. There's also things like the capless fuel filler, the HMI human-machine interface onboard computer thingy, the push-button start. There's knee airbags in here.
The point is that you get the feeling you could conceivably downsize from a Focus without feeling that you'd also downgraded.
Finally, we come to the performance. The iPod is a small package but packs a powerful 80,000 song punch. I can flick between Rage Against the Machine and Neil Diamond in a blink. 0 to 60 songs in no time at all. The Fiesta, frankly, isn't so fast.
This is the 1.6-litre TI VCT. It's got 118 brake horsepower and does 0 to 62 in about 9.9 seconds. If you keep on going and assuming you're not being chased by the police or something similarly illegal, it'll do 120 miles an hour. So it's not that fast then, but it does feel like a bigger, more sophisticated car. If I'm honest, it feels a lot like my Mondeo, except easier to park. I'll tell you what, this steering is particularly impressive. It's electric power assistance, but basically it wakes up for more feel as you go faster. And in development, the Fiesta engineers basically did a lap of the earth, and then they did some more just to fine-tune this steering setup. It's weird, it feels nice and nimble when you drive quickly, but this has got a chassis that rides so well, it feels like a car with a much longer wheelbase. It's a really good balance.
There's also a super efficient version called the Econetic, with a 1.6-litre engine that pumps out just 99 grams per kilometre of CO2, which nips neatly into the lowest of the low tax bands.
Do you want to know the best bit? This new Fiesta is actually a little bit cheaper than the outgoing model, and the insurance groups are either the same or a little bit lower, which means that it'll be cheaper to run, both in terms of standing costs and fuel bills. So it's easy to use but stylish, it's got interfaces that make you smile, and it's luxurious but it's still faintly affordable. Am I talking about the iPod or the Fiesta? Well, actually, I'm talking about both. Over there is the new Seat Ibiza SC, and I'll tell you straight away, it's very cheap and it's very well spec'd. Just over 10 grand gets you this 1.4-litre SC Sport. Today, I've got 3 deeply practical tests to find out whether it's actually any good. Trolley, toilet roll, let's go. Now, obviously, these are shopping cars, so what really matters is how much toilet roll you can get in the boot. But to set a benchmark, first I want to test it against our current favourite, the Ford Fiesta. Must have had a job lot on the paint. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right, here's the 11 packs of poo paper that fitted inside the Fiesta. Let's see what goes inside the Ibiza. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. More rolls, please, more rolls. 12, 13. Ibiza wins. Done. OK, time for test 2. Parking. Basically, if small cars like this are hard to park, then they're frankly useless. If you'll notice back there, 2 researchers have parked incredibly badly, and I'm going to see which car is easiest to slot in the gap. I'm going to start with the Fiesta. Right, immediately, as soon as I turn around, it's got quite a small rear windscreen, and those C-pillars are huge. I actually can't see about 3 feet either side of the back of the car. Still, nice little tight turning circle. Now, this has got optional rear parking sensors, which are about £200, which do allow me to slot neatly into the gap. Beautiful. Time for the Ibiza. Now, the first thing you notice about this Seat is that the steering is, in fact, super, super light. Look, you can do it with one finger, all the way around, no problem at all. In fact, it's so light, you can actually steer it with your tongue, which is obviously going to help us park. Right, let's get on with it. Again, really, really big, thick C-pillar, so it's actually quite hard to see what's in the corners behind you. Now, there's no rear parking sensors on this car, so you sort of have to touch park on the cameraman's lens. Actually, though, I have to say, just because those C-pillars are slightly thinner than the Fiesta, the Seat's actually slightly easier to park. Seat wins. Right, time for test 3, driving. Now, small cars like these, when you're driving across cities, should make you feel like you're an extra in the Italian Job. They should be all nippy and sprightly. So, to test them properly, we've engaged the help of the kind of people these cars are aimed at. Girls. Go on, nail it. Right, yeah. Oh, yeah, there we go.
The feel of the car, the comfort of the car, I think feels really nice. The turning's lovely.
How do you think it's riding?
Yeah, it's very smooth.
It's just a bit like, it's still a Fiesta. Because my first car was a Fiesta, and you want to kind of move on from that. I've got the brand new, wait for it, Fiesta.
Is that not cool?
No.
Right, now it's time for the Seat Ibiza.
I'm already not liking this. Ooh. The steering is really, really light. I don't like it at all.
Definitely louder.
Noisy, isn't it? A little more rattly, I think. I don't feel quite as cushioned.
I like this thing.
A bit more simple.
The mirror, it is a mirror, isn't it?
No. It's an MP3 player. The Fiesta or this, the Seat Ibiza, which one would you have?
I think just completely overall the Ford, definitely.
I prefer this car, the Seat. I feel like I'm actually driving it myself rather than just gliding along.
The Fiesta's more spacious in a smaller car, really.
Fiesta, 2-1. Winner. Nice.
Rejoice, fellow petrolheads. We've got some brilliant news. No less than 3 brand new hot hatches have just been released, each costing less than 20 grand.
And these aren't from the bargain bin. They're made by some of the biggest names in the hot hatch arena. All have turbocharged 1.6-litre engines. Hit 62 in less than 7 seconds and claim to do over 40 miles to the gallon.
We're going to find out which is best with 3 different challenges. Let battle commence.
Test number 1 is all about straight line speed. With just 1/5 of a second covering all 3 of these little pups in the 0 to 62 dash, we thought we'd find out what happens over 1/4 of a mile.
Now, from a standing start, I'm going to nail it towards Tiff, who's borrowed a speed camera from the local coppers. Now, the car that records the highest speed when I get to my old mate is the winner. First up, it's the Ford Fiesta ST.
In your own time, go, go, go.
Right, so this is a sniff under 17 grand. Traction control's off, and hold on the handbrake, and go. Little bit of wheel spin, pretty good.
And he's away.
Feels reasonably torquey.
63, 73,
Clean all the way through the rev range, 4th gear.
81, 84,
Just need the rev limiter there, a sniff.
87, 89. 92 miles an hour for the little Fiesta.
I tell you what, it's quite nippy for a 1600. Well.
92 miles an hour.
Ah, OK.
What gear was it up to then?
Fourth. Just got into fourth, but I just nipped the rev limiter.
Did it feel torquey
nipped it.
mid-range?
I wouldn't say torquey. One thing it does feel is the flywheel's too big, because the revs take a long time to decay between each gear.
First, the Fiesta ST.
7, 5, 6, 3, 2, 1, go!
Ah, missed it. Get it. Mind your legs. Seatbelt.
I'm on. And
Silly key. No, keyless.
I'm in.
Throw the key.
I'm in.
Fire it up.
7, 18, 20
ESP off. Come on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ESP off. First key. Go.
25 seconds more. What's going on, Tiff? Where are we going?
It's a slalom, but it's a tight slalom. And then it's a bit of a swirl.
Where are you going now?
Oh, a bit wide. Into the garage. Are you comfy in the back?
No, I'm not. That's 4 seconds.
Reverse. And then back through.
Top it.
Bit of understeer, bit of spinning. Yeah. Have you got a leg grip? How's your leg grip?
No, I'm all right for leg grip.
Let that come on. And stop that. No. I've worn myself out doing all that.
1 minute and 6 seconds.
What, 0, 0? 1 minute 6.00.
1 minute, 6 seconds, .00. I don't know about you, I'm tired as well from hanging on.
How's your headroom? Good headroom, nice
Do you know,
space.
it's not bad. These headrests get in the way.
Right.
When you pull in G.
Felt quite good, quite nice light steering, manoeuvrable.
So the Fiesta is easy to get into, has an easy to deactivate traction control, is reasonably spacious and has excellent handling. Time to swap cars. I'll see if the Fiesta proves to be more fun, while I'm going to find out if it can lap faster.
That is Fiesta. I really like it. It's got a great engine note.
The engine's got quite a nice urgent tone up above 5,000.
See what the front grip's like. Oh, much more front grip. Much more kind of neutral chassis. A bit more dynamic, actually.
Straight away, just as the nose began to wash wider, lifted off the power, the nose tucked in. That's just what you want. Let's try a Scandinavian flick at the end of the straight. And that works. And the chassis comes straight back into line afterwards. It doesn't wallow around. It's nice and stiff. The ride comfort's good. You have this minimal body roll. When you jumped into the Fiesta, did you think it'd be quicker from the first corner onwards? Or?
Step change. You know, the car was neutral. Understeer had gone. OK, a little bit there, but you can make it do whatever you want. You can feel the car kind of rotating around, kind of just behind my bum, which is exactly what you want to feel. Great car, I loved it. Could have driven it all day around there. It's good fun. Really nice feel. Power steering loads up nicely. It's not really light like that Peugeot was. That's a good bit of kit.
It didn't feel as quick though, did it? Because that 20 horsepower is quite a difference.
Yeah, you're right, actually. In the straight line, it didn't feel as quick. But the power delivery was nicer, I thought, than that. It's a softer ramp up with the turbo comes in.
Ooh, nice brake pedal, good feel. I think that was a bit over the top.
We like it.
This is a beautiful little chassis, but is it faster?
The Peugeot's lap time was 1 minute 17.2. The Fiesta is 20 brake horsepower down, 3 kilograms heavier, slower in a straight line, but actually 2.5 seconds quicker. With a lot still to learn before it's even safe to co-drive for Mark at over 100 miles an hour, the lesson continues on the rally stage.
What's inside?
I can't see because big
don't
nudgings.
Stones.
In World Championship rallies, drivers are allowed 2 recce's at only 30 miles an hour to write their own notes. So Nicky takes us on a recce where he talks us through what to write.
Is it an and or an into?
And.
Is that an and?
With Nicky's help, we've got almost all the course correctly noted down.
See, I'd put cautions in everywhere here.
But for the final section, we've got to write the notes without his help.
So from this junction on is your test.
Hey. Junction.
Oh, hold on, Nicky, hold on.
Junction. Left hairpin.
Here endeth the test. Let's go. Let's check. It was never ever going to be easy.
I've put left 5, opens, 50, crest, keep right.
No, there was a crest in here.
Yeah, left 6.
I ignored that.
I was the one that noticed crests. I was the one that used the teacher's terminology.
Max crest we've got, which means it's absolutely
I
flat
put
chat
rightish.
to rightish.
Oh, rightish.
And you've got keep
Teacher.
right. So it's the
Teacher.
same thing.
Yeah. No,
It's
right, no, it's not. No, you and me have put rightish. He hasn't put the same thing.
But it's meaning keeping
Keep
to the right.
right-ish.
At this point, you're both on the same
Oh,
track.
sit on the fence, won't you?
I think Nicky was very unfair in judging it a draw.
Have you heard yourself?
I'll have to prove my superior co-driving skills in the rally car.
No, but that...
This is Mark's £180,000, 260 horsepower Fiesta, a machine built for World Championship rallies. We'll sit in the co-driver's seat, mounted lower than the driver's to improve the centre of gravity, and read our notes to Mark.
I can't see anything from down here. You're not the only one.
Mark will drive at full pelt, so any mistakes from us could see him misjudge a corner and land us in the trees.
Be careful now. Oh, I can't see a thing. Left 5 over crest. 30. Right 3 plus.
He's judging us on the essential co-driving skills of accuracy, speed and clarity.
On the crest, loose, it's loose here, Mark, it's loose!
There's no point in just blah, 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 because at the end of the day, it's gone. You've got to be reading corner by corner.
Right-ish! Yeah, very good. Right 5 long, over a crest! Slowing, over 30, turn tight, left 2, nips!
When you hear pace notes being read properly, everything is controlled. Da da da, bang. Da da da, bang.
Turn right 2, 70! 70! Can't ever more power!
Doesn't sound like he's hanging around to me.
Maximum 120! Go! Holy moly! Yeah, that was okay, I thought. Well, it's actually quite good because you never look out, so you're never scared because you never see a tree.
Let me get me helmet.
Let me out now, let me out.
I'm always a bad passenger, but now I'm a bad passenger with an important job.
Just so there's no pressure, I need you as much as you need me now.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, mate, you ready?
Yep. So, left 5 over crest, 30, right 3 plus, in, plus left 6.
The timing of the pace notes is as important as the information that they're reading.
Max left 60, turn left 2, loose on crest.
Losing time, waiting. What? Come on, read. Tell me what's coming next. You know, it's just going to upset the balance.
Good co-drivers vary the timing of their notes with the severity of the corner, always allowing the driver time to react.
Over crest, plus left 4, slightly, through junctions.
But Mark's driving faster than I can read, and I'm delivering my notes a wee bit late.
40, unseen.
Unseen what?
Turn right 1. Right 5, 40. Left 3 to stop. You just don't get a chance to look out the window.
Becoming a co-driver is a bit like learning a foreign language whilst riding a roller coaster.
But is it me or Jason who has best mastered the art?
The decision's down to Mark and how you performed in the car.
Well, I was quite surprised in the car because you are the more argumentative of the two, aren't you?
It's got a point.
Yeah.
It's a point well made.
But Tiff, you're actually very good.
Did the job.
Jace, nice voice and everything. But just a little bit late.
Yeah, it was a bit late,
yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we would have been braking late, but we probably wouldn't have got around the corners.
Yeah. Ooh.
But on this occasion, I think it's you, Tiff.
Thank you.
So today the team tested the Ford Fiesta ST. The last Fiesta ST, which came out in 2012, was highly acclaimed for its handling. So can the latest one match up or possibly be even better? Prices start at £19,245, but we're driving the mid-spec ST2 version, which costs £1,000 more.
So, Ford Fiesta ST wasn't quite as exciting to look at as I hoped for.
This has gone quite mature.
It's a clean, well-appointed, not too leery-looking car.
I think
it's a bit of class.
Great.
Because they've lost a cylinder.
What?
Now 3 cylinder.
Oh, this is the 3-cylinder, I forgot, yeah.
But not only does it only have 3 cylinders, but it will actually run on 2.
Yes, you heard that correctly. When the car is being driven on a light throttle, it will actually run on 2 cylinders, further improving fuel consumption.
But it's the same power as the 4-cylinder outgoing model.
Problem with downsizing engines is sometimes you take out the excitement in the quest for economy. Well, the great thing about this is if this car is as much fun as the last car and it does like 10 more mpg.
Yeah.
Happy days, right? Normally when you're sat in the back of a car that size that's 3-door and you're 6'3", it's an issue. Even 3-door.
What's it like in there?
Hot.
It's all
getting
right.
hot in here.
I've got
Oh!
Have you got enough room?
Yeah, I got an inch
Wow.
before my knee touches anything. Tiff's got loads.
This car really has got some quality little touches. The chalk striping, just little things, it all comes together.
Racetrack use only. There you go.
Sounds quite good, eh?
The only problem sitting in the back was Jason was driving.
He immediately, you saw his eyes widen, he was like, I know this is going to be an exciting car.
Oh, did you feel the rear just having a little bit of a...
It's got engineered in.
How's the steer?
Oversteer.
It's got a good feel. The steering is nicely weighted, the driving position's good, the seats hug you well.
We did soon find a small problem with the Fiesta.
None of us have got grab handles. None of us.
Corners, me and Johnny. I want to be out the back now.
What are you getting out for?
We've got no doors. There's no escape hatches in the back. I'd had enough.
With the loose deadweight thrown out, I could really show Jimmy what the car could do.
It's got some get up and go. It's a bit go-kart-like. And that's what you want in a fun little hot hatch. Great fun. I can't believe it's a 1500cc engine.
It's going like something with a lot more of an engine. It's got the power when you need it. It's got the economy when you need it. This thing works. If a sporty little car like this is going to be sporty, you should be able to push it to a limit of discomfort. That's what I always think. So you can't push something that far, then it's a bit mediocre. All the way, all the way, all the way. I found that out.
What was that? Hey? Shut your face. Get out of the car if you're not going to vomit, are you?
I just,
Is that a sick burp?
re-swallowed some Jaffa cake.
Oh.
So the chuckable little Fiesta had proved chuckable in other ways. Scores, please.
The little Fiesta ST didn't disappoint. It gets a 9.
So I'm giving it a 9.
Well done, Ford. I'm going to give it this. 8.5.
I loved it, and I'm going to give it an 8.
Which gives the Fiesta ST a team test score of 34.5 out of 40, the highest in the series so far. Now it's time to take a trip back in time at the fabled Anglesey test track for a 5th gear shootout. It's where we test 2 cars with similar specs in a fastest lap winner-takes-all showdown. Right then, it's a Ford family new versus old challenge to see if nearly 30 years of engineering advances can put a mere Fiesta on par with a super fast icon of the 90s. This is the Ford Escort Cosworth, and it set new hot hatch performance standards when it was unleashed to the world in 1992. Its four-wheel drive system and 2-litre turbo engine propelled it to 62 in 6.1 seconds and onto a top speed of 140 miles an hour.
It is great though.
The new Fiesta ST only has a 3-cylinder 1.5-litre engine, but on paper at least has almost identical performance figures, getting to 62 in 6.5 seconds, yes, and going on to 144 miles an hour. The Cosy was the equivalent of about 50 grand when new, but the Fiesta is less than half of that. So do you now get more bang for less bucks? Let's start by setting the benchmark in the legendary Cosworth.
Now, while this 1995 Escort Cosworth with 15,000 miles on the clock is in immaculate condition, you know, it has missed out on, you know, years and years of technological advancements, but in its day, it's quite ahead of its time actually, with four-wheel drive, 227 horsepower, massive great big turbo. The first thing which strikes you as the seating position is just awful. I feel like I'm sat on the car rather than in it. The other thing which is very apparent is just how much turbo lag there is. You know, you put your foot down and you literally wait for a second or two for the boost to build, and there it is. There's a suppleness, a softness to the suspension, which you don't really get in modern day hot hatches. And you know, back in the day, this was the first production car which had, you know, downforce at the front as well as the rear.
The whale tail wing on the back and large splitter on the front produce genuine handling improvements.
You know, you can feel it, you can place it exactly where you want to. Yes. Oh man, a little Scandi flick in the Escort Cosy. Like it. Do you know what? It's ancient, but it's still great fun.
Time for a hot lap.
Here we go. Oh man, a little bit of oversteer there, like it. Power, 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 come on. Do you know what? The high-speed front grip it's not bad. 110 already. Right, no Scandi flick, because I'm looking for lap time. Right, come on. A few more corners to go. Let's get in here. Oversteer there. Right, get on the power, get the boost up. Here we go. Oh, ran a bit wide there. And stop the watch.
And it crosses the line in 1 minute 25.95 seconds. Let's see what the Fiesta ST can do.
Now, the last version of the Fiesta ST was an ankle tag-wearing hoodlum. Had a 1.6-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, which, to be honest, we just couldn't get enough of. So it's pretty brave of Ford to drop a cylinder.
And not only has it gone down to 3 cylinders, but the capacity has also been lowered to just 1.5 litres.
All done really to lower emissions and therefore your tax bill, and also to save your petrol by increasing the MPG. But has that taken anything away from the sheer fun of the old one? Now, this car's got a £900 option, which is a performance pack, which gives you proper mechanical limited slip diff.
The optional diff helps control the power delivery between the front wheels, so the Fiesta can get more power down in the corners.
So we've got 3 settings on here. We've got normal, sport, and racetrack. And then we'll change, you know, your performance characteristics of the car. All very good, but let's just leave it in racetrack, eh?
Time to find out whether all that technical innovation really does make a big difference. Start the clock.
Come on, JP. Get a good exit, use the curb. Bit of oversteer on the way in here, just help it turn, that's it.
At the first checkpoint, the Fiesta is almost 1 second ahead.
Hard on the power. Chassis feels good, good grip, good balance on the way into the corners, and you've got just gradual power understeer on the way out. The steering's really positive. I can feel the rear wheel just cocking up at the back. High-speed corner, got to get the thing to rotate a little bit on the way in. A little rotate, there we go. And on the power. It's still quick, it's dynamic, it's good fun. Well, there's 100 already, 110, 120 miles an hour on the brakes. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, you can hear the brakes grumbling, can't you?
At the second checkpoint, the ST has pulled a further second ahead.
It feels like it's got quite good torque, actually, even in third gear coming out of that hairpin. Here we go, come on, come on! A little bit of understeer there. I want a good exit from here on the power. That's good. Stop the watch.
And the Fiesta crosses the line in 1 minute 22.42 seconds. That's 3.5 seconds quicker than the Cosy. So whilst you've still got to love the car that set the benchmark for a fun, fast Ford years ago, the new Fiesta ST has managed to top it, thanks to modern technology.